Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov.
Taranaka Levita.
One of the Levites' descendants.
Ary taranaky Arana misolona be.
I'm also one of the descendants of Aaron, the priest.
Lalana telo no natongavan'ny zanak'Israely le folo nakaty Madagascar.
There were 3 ways that the Israelites took to come here in Madagascar.
Lalana voalohany avy any Israel dia nakany nandalo tany Egypta.
The first way is from Israel to Egypt.
Dia nandalo any Ethiopia.
And they passes by Ethiopia.
Dia nandalo Kenya, dia Komoro, dia Madagascar.
And then they passed Kenya, Comoros, and last in Madagascar.
Efa tamin'ny andro zanak'Israely efa-jato taona tany Egypta, dia efa nisy fifandraisana tamin'ny zanak'Israely sy Madagascar.
When the Israelites were slaves there in Egypt, they started to communicate from people here in Madagascar to people from Madagascar.
Ny hazo nanamboarana ny piramida tany Egypta dia misy avy etỳ Madagascar.
The wood that people used to build the pyramids some of them come from Madagascar, some of the woods.
Lalana faharoa indray dia manitsy ny avy any Israely tamin'ny porony John Geber dia nandalo ny ranomasina mena dia Ocean Indiana dia tonga teto Madagascar.
The second way is from Israelites to the Red Sea and passing from the Indian Ocean and come in Madagascar.
Lalana fahatelo dia nakany Israel dia nakany Babylone dia nakany Inde.
The third way was from Israel to Babylon, India,
dia avy eo nakany
Malaysia, Indonesia,
dia nakaty Madagascar.
and then here in Madagascar.
Ka ny fikarohana hitako dia mihoatran'ny folo ny andihana migration avy any Israel nakaty Madagascar, folo mahery.
Okay, so from my research, there were more than 10 migration coming here in Madagascar.
Ny razambenay zany ny razambe Malagasy nakany nakaty dia Jews Israel.
Our ancestors were both Jewish, mother and fathers.
Tena Jews biologique.
So they are Jewish biologically.
Ny any Israely amin'izao fotoana dia hoe Jews rehefa Jews ny reniny.
Nowadays in Israel, we can call people Jewish when their mother is Jewish.
Fa ny anay nataonay hoe Jews dia efa Jews ny ray Israely zanak'Israely roa ambin'ny folo.
But for us, we can call someone Jewish if the mother and the father are both Jewish.
Eto Madagascar zany no ahitana ny fomba fiteny Jews tranainy fomba fiteny Hébreu tranainy indrindra amin'izao tontolo izao.
We can find here in Madagascar the old Hebrew, the word Hebrews.
Zany hoe fa mihoatra ny efa-jato sy telo arivo taona no natongava ny razambe teto Madagascar.
Okay, so we found that the Hebrew people came 3,400 years ago.
Eto Madagascar no ahitana fomba fiteny Hébreu tranainy indrindra amin'izao tontolo izao.
We can find the oldest Hebrew words all over the world. We can just find it here in Madagascar.
Zay eto Madagascar dia manao lovatsy mivitra.
We people from Madagascar do that.
Strict endogamie.
Strict endogamie, which is from fathers to son, from son to grandson.
Ohatra amin'ny anarana amin'ny teny Hébreu faran'izay tranainy indrindra.
One example of oldest Hebrew words,
Salama.
salama, which is a Malagasy word.
io fomba fiteny hoe salama io ny sana indrindra fa ny saloma tateo arina.
The word salama is older than the word shalom.
Manaraka an'izany dia misy tsy lasaka ny 20 ny olona mpanoratra mikasika ny zanak'Israely 12 ny Jiosy eto Madagasikara.
Not less than 20 people here in Madagascar, they wrote books talking about the Israelites, the 12 brothers.
12 tribes?
The 12 tribes.
Les 12 tribus. Les 12 tribus.
Les 12 tribus, yeah.
Ao anatin'izany dia tamin'ny 1538 amiral Van Eyck hollandais.
Let me tell you some of them. In 1550,
1938.
In 1538, Amiral Van Eyck from Holland.
Fahatalohany ireo Portugais tonga teto Madagasikara tamin'ny taona 1500 dia Jiosy.
But before that, some Portuguese who came here in Madagascar in 1500s, they are Jewish.
Ao anatin'ireo Diego,
one of them was Diego,
Diaz,
Aaron, Benjamin.
Ary misy nosy manodidina Madagasikara anankiray Ezepatsy.
And we can also talk about one of the islands surrounding Madagascar called Île Zepax.
Ao anefa Madagasikara misy anankiray atao hoe Bassa de India.
In the west of Madagascar, there is also another island called Bassa de India.
Fa ny tena anarany Bassa da Yuda.
But the real name of that island is
Bassa da Yuda.
Bassa da Yuda.
Le passage de Yehuda?
Bassa da Yuda.
Bassa da Yuda.
Yehuda. There's another island called Passage of Yehuda.
So those islands are Jewish islands.
Dia razambe anay dia niditra tany Maroantsetra.
Our ancestors came from Maroantsetra.
Any andefa avaka tandefa Madagasikara.
It is in the northwest of Madagascar.
Northeast of Madagascar. Northeast.
Northeast, sorry.
Madagascar.
Northeast of Madagascar.
Lazay koa pia ny anaran'le mpanoratra fa be dia be.
I'm gonna list the writers. They are numerous.
Amiral Van Eyck, Flacourt, Henri Pougy de Saint-André, Augustus Henri Kidd, Pasteur Abel John, Révérend James Cameron, Pasteur Henri Ganzaroula, Père Henri Dubois, Professeur Albert Atsimamac, Alfred Grandidier, Guillaume Grandidier, Père Joseph Briand, Rabbi Katz Kreutzer, Professeur Ernest Kerbinis, Père François Xavier Azakazay, Pasteur Emmanuel Camilson, Fernand Kassak, Pasteur Tulcheradev, Dr. Bruno Rabaruel, Mamanil Laf.
So those are the writers that he talked about.
They wrote book about the whole history of the Jewish history of Madagascar.
Manaraka an'izany dia amin'ny lafiny archéologique.
Talking about archaeology.
Misy toerana maromaro eto ande Madagasikara dia ahitana soratra teny Hebreo.
We have many places here in Madagascar where we can find Hebrew words and sentences.
Any avaratra Madagasikara any Milpea misy vato anankiray zay misy teny Hebreo.
In the north of Madagascar, called Ambilube, there is a stone in which we can Hebrew words is written down.
Ao afonatsynana Madagasikara dia misy tendrombohitra ngeza be ao alaka misy namboma. In the east part of Madagascar, in the center of that part, alaka misy ambony
called Alakamisnambuima.
100 metatra ny alavany.
We have a stone which is 100 meters.
Dia 2 metatra eo ny sakany
Okay, 100 meters in length and 1 meter in height.
Teny ampivoatra ny paleo Hébreu.
We can find old Hebrew scriptures. It is a very old one.
Paleo Hébreu.
Paleo Hebrew.
Dia any anatin'ny ala maro antsefitra any avakakatsina ny Madagasikara.
In the north, east of Madagascar, in Mavantsich, there is a forest.
Dia ahitana sarina kitan'i Davida voasikotra amin'ny vato.
Within that forest, there is a stone in which the Star of David.
L'étoile de David.
Yeah, the Star of David is engraved on that stone.
Misy sarina kitan'i Davida anankidimy hita any anaty ala maro antsefitra.
We can find 5 stars of David in that forest.
Nisy professeur de philosophie avy Berlin sy université any tamin'ny Toamasina no nitondra mpikarika 700 tany.
One professor from Berlin in Germany and one professor from the University of Tamatave, they took 40 researchers to get to that forest.
Dia ny zavatra nagaga dia zao tamin'ny fotoana nahitany an'ilay sarina kitan'i Davida dia nareo izy feo kiry tany anaty ala kitroka.
So what the amazing thing is that when they found the Star of David, at that time they heard a music coming from the forest.
In the deep forests of Madagascar.
Coming from the deep forests of Madagascar.
And they hear the national anthem of Israel.
Tenaeva ny ira-pirenen'i Israel zareo.
Hatkiva.
They heard Hatikva.
Zay ny anaran'ilay ira-pirenenan'i Israel.
Mahavary.
It was really amazing.
Akoatran'izay amo mitarika amin'ny fonabe ny ambanjareto Madagascar.
Apart from that, he is the leader of
De quoi?
He is the leader of the traditional king here in Madagascar.
Dia ireo misy foko 520 mahery eto Madagascar.
Okay, so there are 25 tribes in that community.
Dia ireo ampanjaka rehetrarehetra ireo dia samy manambara fa zanak'Israely omby folo.
All those kings called themselves as descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Ny Sakalava any Boeny.
The tribe called Sakalav in the region of Bueni.
Avaratran'efa Madagascar.
Bueni is in the northwest of Madagascar.
Manana collier ngezabe anankiray.
They do have a big necklace.
Volamena.
The necklace is made in gold.
Kitan'i Davida leo aminy.
And we can find the Star of David in the necklace.
Izay nilovany hatrany amin'ny razambe ny hatrany amin'ny razambe.
Yeah, which they inherited from their ancestors.
Zareo Hébreu Tsosi avy any Israel dia nandala any Ethiopia dia tonga teto Madagascar.
They were the Hebrew who passed Ethiopia and come here in Madagascar.
Ny Jiosy avy Ethiopia zany dia cousin.
So he said that the Jewish in Ethiopia are their cousin.
Dia manaraka an'izany dia eto Madagascar misy atao hoe trano manar.
Besides, here in Madagascar we can find the trano manar.
Izy io dia eo ambonin'ny ohatran'ny hoe trano kely apetraka eo ambonin'ny fasan'ny mpanjaka sy ny takanaka.
Okay, this house is a house that we built upon the grave or the tomb of kings.
Dia any Japon koa manana an'izy io zareo.
In Japan, we can also find that house.
Ny fandraisany dia zao.
The relation is
Mpiavana ny ampanjaka eto Madagasikara sy ny ampanjaka any Japon.
the relation is that the descendants of kings here in Madagascar are the relatives or the relatives of the descendants of kings there in Japan.
Zareo ny empereur any Japon voalohany atao Jimmu ny anarany.
The first emperor of Japan called Jimmu
Dia taranaka ny mpanjaka Ose, mpanjaka farany tany Israely avaratra.
is the descendant of the last king of the North Israel. He is called
Hosea.
Hosea.
Tamin'ny taona 722 talohan'ny Jesosy Kristy no
They moved to the east in 722 before Jesus Christ.
Zahay moa zany dia nakaty Madagascar.
But their ancestors, they came here in Madagascar.
Ny razambeanay dia ny aia tao amin'ny tempolon'i Jerosalema talohan'ny naharavan'ny tempolo voalohany Jerosalema.
Our ancestors left Jerusalem before the temple was destroyed.
The first temple?
The first temple of Jerusalem.
Dia le trano manara io manara.
So this Tran Manar is Manar.
Fahateny Hebreu anankiray Menorah.
But another Hebrew name of that house is Menorah.
Io zany fahatsiarovana ny tabernakely tamin'ny andro Mosesy Aron.
This house reminds us the tabernacle in the days of Moses and Aaron.
Ary fahatsiarovana ihany koa ny tempolo voalohany Jerosalema.
This house also reminds us the first temple of Jerusalem.
Zavatra resaiko taminao moa dia aminareo moa dia tsongotsongo ny resaka kay ampazato ny zavatra hafatsy.
Okay, my talk of today is just 1% of the whole stories.
Manahery taona izy tia resaka eto tsy mijanona misy resahana.
Okay, but if we are going to have that talk for a year, he would always have something to say.
Fa ny zavatra tsara mafisina fotsiny hoe ny razambe ireo taranaka mpisoronareo dia niainga tamin'ny tempolo voalohany Jerosalema talohany natonga avy amin'ny aramiran'ny Nebukadnezara.
What I want to highlight is that those ancestors left Jerusalem before the army of Nebuchadnezzar came.
Andriamanitra zany nampilaza meloa anareo razambe eo anafika ny miaramila vahiny fa hoety miala ny daholy ny fanaka masina tao amin'ny tempolo voalohany Jerosalema.
Okay, so Hashem told them in advance that they have to leave before the army came, and they took all the precious things inside the temple, and they left with all of them.
Fanaka masina tao amin'ny tempolo Jerosalema zany dia eto Madagascar.
So all the holy furnitures that were found in the temple are here in Madagascar.
Io le raha madozay mamaneny lafo.
One lady said she's called Mama Lin Love.
Eto Madagascar amin'ny fianarana fanekena.
She said that
Comment en français? Oh, the Ark of the Covenant. The Covenant.
The Ark of Covenant is here.
Yeah.
Of Covenant is here
Yeah.
in Madagascar. That's what she said.
Tena mamirapiratra.
And it's very lightning. It is lightning.
Teto Madagascar ny nangalana ny
Quoi?
Ny vatosoa tamin'ny fota liavana pisorana
Oh,
The breastplate.
avec,
Yeah,
avec toutes les
the
pierres
breast-
précieuses.
The breastplate.
The breast,
Plate.
the breastplate
With the precious stones.
with the precious stones. They took all of those stones here in Madagascar,
dia le vato onyx eto ambony eto a
and also the onyx here in the shoulders of the priest.
ny ray eto Madagasikara,
One of them is from Madagascar,
ny ray any Israel.
and one of them is from Israel.
Dia nisy mpikaroka israelianina nampitovy entiny mitondra azonana ka ny Israel dia nampitovina dia mitovy.
So one of the researchers from Israel took that stone to compare them there in Israel, and he said that they are the same.
Similar.
They have similarity.
Hitanareo amin'izany fa lalina dia lalina mikasika an'ity Madagasikara ity.
You could see from that talk that the thing about Madagascar is very deep.
Na amin'ny resaka tantara zany a, na amin'ny resaka kolotsaina, na amin'ny resaka fiteny.
Either in story, in culture, and in language.
Ohatra ty lamba zay metiko aminareo ty.
For example, talking about the scarf that I'm wearing,
Ty zany lamba hebreo ty.
this is an Hebrew. This is a Hebrew scarf.
Efa tamin'ny andro Mosesy anao ny ohatr'izao.
In the time of Moses and Aaron, they've already had that kind of scarf.
Nareo Jiosy avy any Eropa manao ny ekipa.
Even Jewish from Europe wear kippah.
Fa zay eto Madagasikara koa dia manana ekipa.
But here in Madagascar, we also have the kippah.
Any amin'ny foko atsimo atsinanana rehetra dia manao satroka fa kely zay.
The tribes in the southeast of Madagascar, they have that kind of kippah.
Nisy mariage Jiosy hitako maky.
He found the Jewish wedding yesterday.
Dia lehilahy Jiosy vazaha manao ny ekipa.
The Jewish men, they wore the kippah.
Dia ny lehilahy malagasy a nanao ekipa amin'ny satroka gasy.
But the Malagasy men wore the kippah, but in the Malagasy tradition.
Be dia be ny zavatra azo lazaina angamba fa hamarana amin'izay a.
There are many things that we can still talk about, but let me end my talk of today.
Nisy mpikaroka zay nanao fitiliana amin'ny lafiny genetika teto Madagasikara.
There is a researcher who made a genetical research.
Yeah.
Dia zao a Jiosy malagasy zato no nanaovany le fikarohany.
Okay, so he made the research within 100 of Malagasy Jewish
Amin'ny taranakaroana misorana eto Madagasikara.
descendants of Aaron the priest here in Madagascar.
Dia zao ny zavatra hitany ny voka-pikarohana
He found that
J2
J2,
U1B1A
E1, B1A,
R1A
R1A1,
DNA.
R1B1
RAB1.
DNA. DNA.
Izany hoe zao zany vadika ny tantara amin'izao fotoana fa izy satria zahay no nanao
DNA.
strict endogamie teto Madagasikara. Zahay moa le nanao lovatsy mifindra teto Madagasikara.
Because they are the one who made the
Research.
no,
The DNA research.
Strict endogamie.
strict endogamie.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire en français?
Endogamie strict.
Strict endogamie. Endogamie strict.
Nandritra ny 3 taona mahery.
Within 3,000 years.
manomboka zao zany dia tokony miainga eto Madagasikara fa ny fijerena izy ny tena Jews.
So now he said that to find the real Jewish, it should begin here in Madagascar.
Biological Jews.
Biological Jewish.
Iny ary fa dia afarana peto ny fitenenana.
Let me end my talk now.
Fa dia fifaliana ho anay no mahita anareo tonga avy any lavitra.
It's a pleasure for us to see you here, you that come from far away.
Ary valina faminaniana ny fahatongavanareo eto.
The fact that you came here is the answer of the prophecy.
Io razambe any tany efa nilaza fa ho avy ny Jiosy avy any Israely, ny Jiosy avy any États-Unis, avy any Jiosy avy any Europa hiona aminareo eto.
Their ancestors predicated that Jewish from Israel, Jewish from the States, Jewish from Europe will come here to meet you.
Ny fahatongavan'ny professeur Tudor Parfit eto koa dia tahaka izany.
The coming of Professor Tudor Parfit is also the same.
Alao faminaniana.
He is the answer of the prophecy.
Ny fahatongavan'ny Peter Yakov.
The coming of Yaakov Samir, Peter Yaakov,
Ny valao faminaniana ihany koa.
is also an answer to the prophecy.
Fampiraisana ny zanak'Israely 12 eran-tany.
The unity of all the Jewish people all over the world.
Ny anaran'ny tany eto ampovoantany ity no atao hoe Vancouver.
The name of the center of Madagascar is Vancouver.
Fa ny dikan'izany dia hoe Yakov.
The meaning of Vancouver is Yaakov.
Dia misaotra fa
That's it.
tahin'Andriamanitra tolo isika rehetra.
Thank you so much, and may the Creator bless all of us.
Wow. Merci beaucoup.